Jeremy Renner's portrayal of Hawkeye has garnered a significant fan following within the MCU. While his last live-action appearance was in the Hawkeye series, typically, Disney shows don't receive a second season, except for Loki. Hawkeye has been renewed for a second season. Damn it!
There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow!
Well, guess I'm talking about Hawkeye, which I do have a few things I would like to talk about before we get through all 6 episodes. So, let's set the tone. It's November of 2021. The Hawkeye show is right around the corner. Now, I am the biggest fan of not only Jeremy Renner's portrayal of Hawkeye, but the character himself. Hawkeye is one of the best characters, in my opinion, and a low-key GOAT. He's definitely my favorite underrated Avenger. So when I heard there was going to be a show coming out late November, focusing on one of my favorite Marvel characters, I immediately knew I wanted to watch it. So, I went to my family and asked, and somehow, to my shock, they said we could buy Disney+. And so the day came, and we watched the first episode, and as they say, the rest is history. Okay, let's stop yapping about Marvel's underrated GOAT and just get through all 6 episodes. So the beginning takes place in 2012. I think you know where this is going. Anyways, a young girl overhears her parents argue, but it is shortly lived when something flies by her window. Yep, it's the attack on New York. Suddenly a blast blows up the side of her house, and that's when the girl sees Hawkeye, using some old 2012 Avengers footage. And I guess that's what starts her obsession with Hawkeye from that moment. So after the Battle of New York, we see her at her father's funeral. That's when she tells her mom that she will protect them both, and that she needs a bow and arrow. Then we get the intro for the show that doesn't seem to show much Hawkeye in the Hawkeye show. Anyways, we get present day, which I could be wrong, but I think that means it would be 2021, when the show takes place in 2024, right? Anyways, we meet up with an adult Kate Bishop, who's in college, and who's trying to prove a point to her friends. But Kate ends up destroying the bell tower. One of her friends says how I feel about the show.
Well, that was a bit of a letdown.
After that, we finally get to see Clint and his family at a musical. It's kind of funny. The thing you can take away from this is besides Clint trying to take a piss in peace, like piss off dude. Anyways, Clint is suffering from being deaf and I think having PTSD. Moving on, Clint takes his family to dinner while his wife is at home for some reason. Clint makes a bunch of promises to his family that I bet he won't keep. Thanks, Kate. Speaking of Kate, she visits her mom because of the bell tower incident. Her mom, Eleanor Bishop, is played by the great Vera Farmiga. Eleanor is pissed at Kate and wants her to apologize to the school. Kate and Eleanor have a back and forth till Kate sees Eleanor's fiancé, Jack, or also known as the swordsman in the comics. So Kate, Eleanor, and Jack go to some party, and that's when Kate finds out about how her mom and Jack are getting married from this guy, Armand III. She confronts them, then leaves. Then she sees Lucky, everyone's favorite pizza-eating dog. He runs away, so Kate decides to go back in. Kate overhears Armand and her mom arguing. Her mom does that a lot. Anyways, Kate follows Armand into some underground auction place. Armand and Jack are betting for some Ronin suit and the sword. And since Jack is the swordsman, of course, he wants that sword. Suddenly, a van crashes into the auction room, and we finally see the villains for the show, the Tracksuit Mafia. Yes, the bro guys. Kate ends up finding the Ronin suit and puts it on and starts fighting the guys. One of the guys outside finds the watch they're looking for, but Lucky comes back and starts biting the dude. Lucky runs away when Kate shows up and they have a little chase. Eventually, Clint ends up seeing her on TV, dressed as the Ronin, giving him flashbacks. Like, guys, I don't think you need to show us him in the suit. We know it's him. Kate brings Lucky to her apartment and gives him some pizza, which is Lucky's favorite food in the comics. Pretty much all he eats. So Kate leaves Lucky to find Armand, but he has been killed. So she escapes right into the Tracksuit Mafia, who start to fight her. and for some reason, she's not fighting back or doing them cool flips like she did earlier. She just waits in the car till Hawkeye shows up. Hawkeye takes him out, takes Kate out of the car, and removes her mask. And it ends with Clint mad and Kate meeting her hero. So episode 2 takes place literally right after the previous one. Clint takes Kate to her apartment where he asks for the suit and asks her the standard questions like was she followed and did anyone see her. She denies all of it.
Hey, Kate Bishop!
And my name's on the buzzer.
So the tracksuit mafia throws a Molotov cocktail in her apartment. I do like the part where Clint catches one of them and throws it right back at the tracksuits. Well, Clint and Kate have to escape. They grab the dog but leave the suit behind. So they go to some other apartment, pretending to be pizza delivery. So Clint tells Kate to stay behind as he goes back to find the suit. Clint does a little dress up as a firefighter. He doesn't see the suit anywhere, so he goes back outside to put up the firefighter suit. And he notices an NYC LARPer sticker on the truck. So Clint makes it back to the apartment where he teaches Kate how to clean her wounds. Also, I thought this line summarized the show.
Since when did your heart shrink 3 sizes?
When a little girl in ninja costume stole my Christmas.
So after Clint settles down is when he looks up the NYC LARPers page. He sees one of the guys bragging about his new suit. So the next day, Clint takes his kids to be dropped off at the airport, but his daughter knows what's going on. And he still stands by the fact that he will be home before Christmas. So Clint tells Kate to stay at her apartment, but she convinces him to bring her at her mom's building. And yeah, Hawkeye has some hearing problems.
Too hard to tell.
So Kate is dropped off while Clint goes to the LARPers camp, where he has no idea what's going on. It's a fun scene. Anyways, Clint finds the guy and he agrees to fight him for the suit. He also wants to pretend to kill him. So later, Clint and the guy in the suit have a little fight where the suit guy wins and he thanks Clint for letting him do that, and he gives him the suit and says if Clint needs help, he's always here. So picking up with Kate, she is testing Jack because she suspects him of killing his uncle, and she challenges him to a duel. She keeps winning, and she keeps getting frustrated that he's holding back. So she tries to go for his face, but he quickly disarms her. After that, we see Clint. He purposely gets caught by the tracksuit mafia so he can talk to their leader. So after he is caught, he breaks his ropes. The tracksuits want Kate Bishop, and suddenly...
Bro, I found her.
there she is. So they are both captured, and that's when we see...
No, God!
No, wait. Hold up.
No, God, please, no! No! No!
It's... Echo.
No!
So episode 3's beginning is in 2007 with a young girl Maya, or Echo. We see she's a strong, independent young girl who can do anything, even beat kids twice her size and weight. Anyways, then it cuts into the future, but it doesn't tell us what year, so you have to use some context clues. Anyways, it's sometime in 2023 maybe, when Hawkeye was Ronin and went around killing the Mafia. Well, Ronin killed Maya's father, and she wants revenge. So after this MCU scene, we get even more, because we pick back up with Clint and Kate. Then Echo and this guy, don't know his name, but I'm gonna call him Beta Male. So Echo starts signing to Clint, first about his hearing, and then asks about the Ronin suit. Beta Male says what she's signing, and then Echo focuses her attention to Kate, getting all angry like. Which, hey, I'd be mad too if the person that was telling the people what I was signing was the MCU.
It's a different feel compared to what the other MCU stuff that we...
Anyways, Clint by this time has broken out of his restraints and tells Kate on his signal. So he runs away, leading all of Echo and the tracksuit guys following him, except for Kate and Beta Male. Hawkeye does some maneuvers on these guys, till Echo kicks out his hearing aid. And it's quite dumb. It's like he can't even hit Echo, so she just keeps beating him. Anyways, he does shoot some arrows at her, which pins her to a wall, which, hey, I'm surprised that he's even able to stop her. So, he frees Kate, they both make it out of there, and steal a car. And it's one of the more impressive scenes in the show. It's actually a halfway decent car chase, with many fun scenes and obstacles. Also, the whole time, Clint is deaf, so after a while, they make it to the bridge, and Echo is following them, bumping into them and all. And Kate sees an opportunity to take her bow back, so she messes up Echo's car in the process. So Kate and Clint stop the car, seeing that there are more cars coming. Clint tells Kate to shoot first, then he shoots a Pym Tech arrow, which expands and destroys the incoming cars. Then they jump off the bridge, shooting a grapple arrow which leads them onto the train. And good thing this isn't Men in Black. After that, Kate and Clint make it home, where Clint's son is calling him, and it's a good scene where Kate has to show him what his son is saying. So later, Clint and Kate go to some lady to fix his hearing aid that Maya broke. They have some lunch, talk about a new costume for Hawkeye to wear, and then they take a cab to Eleanor's penthouse. They go through some files, Clint is looking around, and then...
Don't move.
So we pick up with Hawkeye, Kate, Eleanor, and Jack. Eleanor is talking to the two of them. Eleanor brings Clint to the door and pretty much tells him, keep her daughter out of it. So Clint leaves, and that's when Kate is actually seen being happy with Jack. Maybe she's thinking Jack isn't that bad, after all. So we pick up with Clint. He's just trying to relax when Kate shows up, brings all the things Clint was supposed to do with his family. They're having fun, watching movies, putting up a tree, and all other kinds of things. Also, Clint tells Kate about how Jack is the CEO of a money supplier for the tracksuits. Also, this is when Kate starts asking questions about Clint. That's when she finds out Clint was Ronin. She leaves to head in for the night. The next morning, Clint tells Kate to find the LARPers to help him get his arrows back. She does that, but they want something in return. Meanwhile, Clint finds Beta Male and tells him to stop Maya before she gets somebody killed. So Clint comes back to the apartment to see all the LARPers in there. Kate also tells the LARPers if they can make some costumes for them. Then this lady shows up. Marvel just can't help themselves, so this chick is gay. Does absolutely nothing for the plot either. Anyways, Clint gets his arrows and him and Kate leave. So later that night, Clint and Kate are scouting out the area to find the watch. Clint is mid-sentence when Kate leaves to go her own way. She has a funny interaction with this old fella. Eventually, she makes it to the door. She finds the watch and alarms. Alarms that are designed for deaf people. So Kate gets jumped by Echo, while Clint gets attacked by some assassin. Kate fends off Maya and jumps on the grapple line to help Clint. She makes it across and is in the middle of the assassin and Clint. Maya then shows up, and we have Clint and Kate versus Maya and the assassin. Maya then gets shot by some red lasers, which means this is a widow. After that, Kate falls, which makes it look like when Natasha fell. Kate cuts her line because he wants her out of this. Maya runs away, which, like, she's top 5 MCU characters, so why is she running away? Anyways, Clint unmasks the Widow, and to no one's shock, it's Yelena.
Oh, look, a tie! Perfect!
Then she runs away, and Clint is in shock and doesn't want Kate to be involved anymore, fearing for her safety. So they have a little split up. Episode 5 takes place on another character's flashback. This time, it's Yelena, which I just can't stand her voice. It's hella annoying. Anyways, Yelena goes to the bathroom where she washes her hands. Then she gets snapped away. She comes back 5 years later and is trying to find Natasha. After the flashback, we see Kate going home, saddened that she's not helping Clint anymore. Her and her mom talk. Of course, now she knows about Jack's CEO job, and she tells Eleanor to look into it. Kate then goes back to her apartment where...
Hi. I made macaroni if you want some.
For 5 minutes. Could you not be yourself? For 5 minutes!
And you know, it would be, or could be, a good scene if Yelena wasn't so annoying and sounded like she was eating Pop Rocks while trying to talk. Anyways, she tells Kate that she's going to kill Clint and to stay out of her way.
Ooh, you're odd, showing off.
Anyways, the next morning, Jack gets arrested, and Clint goes to Avengers Tower to Nat's name to apologize for what he's about to do next. So, he dons the Ronin suit one last time to tell Maya to stop what she's doing, and that her boss orchestrated the death of her father. Somehow, she gets the upper hand on Clint when he has a sword to her neck. Anyways, if I ever do an MCU character list, she might be at the top. Anyways, Clint is saved by Kate, so they escape together, and Beta Male arrives to talk to Maya. She signs where he was the night of her father's death, but it doesn't really go anywhere. So the end of the episode has Clint and Kate at the apartment when she gets a text from Yelena. Earlier, Yelena said that she would figure out who hired her to kill Clint. So, Yelena sends a picture of Eleanor Bishop, and the Kingpin, dressed in that beautiful comic-accurate suit. So we pick up with the Kingpin, who gets stood up in front of Eleanor. She says that she doesn't want to be part of it anymore. She also reveals that she killed Armand, framed Jack, and all around is not a good person. So after that is when Maya shows up. She says she needs a break. So that's 2 people who don't respect Kingpin. Anyways, just wait for later. So catching back up with Clint and Kate, they finally make some trick errors for later. Kate tells why Clint inspires her. So that night, Clint and Kate go to find Eleanor. We see that Jack's out of jail with a sword. We also see that all the LARPers are there undercover. Kate finds Eleanor and tells her that she was behind everything. Then Beta Male starts shooting up the place. Also, Yelena's there as well, so Kate follows Yelena to the elevators and starts pushing on the buttons, while Hawkeye is trying to do his thing. Yelena and Kate are fighting each other. Eventually, Yelena makes it out of the window and tries to shoot Clint. Then she disappears for like 10 minutes, so Kate does the same thing Yelena did and falls out. Jack also shows up and starts fighting the tracksuits, revealing that he's a good guy. So we get a fight between Beta Male and Clint. Clint wins because he doesn't suck, and he also jumps out of the window into a giant tree. Now Kevin would be ashamed. Also, we see a little owl. Anyways, Kate shoots the cords keeping the tree standing, so the tree falls, and we get to see Hawkeye and Kate fighting the bad guys. It's pretty fun. It ends with a truck about to kill them when Kate shoots them, shrinking them down, where the owl swoops down and most certainly eats those guys. So Clint tells Kate to find her mom as he takes on the remaining tracksuit guys, but Yelena gets him first, and Clint just stops fighting. And this episode should have been called The Demasculation of Characters. He's just sitting there taking all these hits. Meanwhile, Maya kills Beta Male, and Kingpin finds Eleanor, but Kate tries to stop him. He throws her off, and then Kate starts fighting him again, and for some reason, Kingpin doesn't just smash her face in, he just keeps throwing her away, and then she blows him up. Moving back to Yelena and Clint, she stops fighting him because he sang a tune Nat used to sing. They reminisce about Nat and that they're sad that she's gone. Yelena helps Clint on his feet after beating up Bro. They go their separate ways, but before it could end, they're not done demasculating Kingpin just yet, because we see him walking away from... He sees Maya and tries his hardest to convince her that they're family, but she's a strong woman who doesn't need no man, so she shoots him in the face. So it's Christmas Day, and Clint fulfilled his promise of being there on Christmas. Clint brings Kate over, they celebrate Christmas together, and they burn the suit, bringing in to the Ronin and the series. Till Season 2. So yeah, that's Hawkeye Season 1. It certainly has some charm to it. It's not all bad in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, we will get into the things I dislike about it, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it just a little bit. Yes, this was peak MCU, no doubt about it, but it's still kind of a fun show nonetheless. I find the show's biggest problem is that they don't call it Kate Bishop. This is not a Hawkeye show. What they did was, Marvel baited the fans into thinking that we would see Hawkeye in the Hawkeye show, when it's not really that, and you could really tell just from the intro of the show. And I guess we're going to get through the negatives now. First off, or second, whatever, is Maya as the villain, and I guess Kingpin too. Maya is probably one of the worst Marvel characters ever. She's super untouchable by any character, and when you see her, you either know she's going to win or kill the other character. That's how you know you have an insecure character. And her shooting Kingpin in the face was just plain stupid. And yes, just because it was from the comics does not mean they should have done it here. I even talked about that in my Daredevil Born Again series, you should definitely check out right up here. Also, speaking of Kingpin, at the time, I hadn't watched the Daredevil show from Netflix. I had known about it, but even then, I felt it was stupid to do that. And on the topic of Daredevil, it was funny that he was in Spider-Man No Way Home, and since No Way Home and Hawkeye were coming out around the same time, people, including me, thought we would see Spider-Man swing across the city, but that did not happen. Anyways, besides that, the other worst thing is Yelena. She's the worst. Plus, her little character arc thing didn't really go anywhere. And if you hadn't watched the Black Widow show, you would have no idea who this character even was. And I hate that Marvel does that. Anyway, I don't know what they're doing for Season 2. All I know is the villain is supposed to be Clint's brother, and that's supposed to be taking place around the holidays again. Also, this is a good time to mention this video was filmed in April, so just know that a lot could change in 8 months. Anyways, my last problem is the demasculation of these characters. It really, really sucks. Anyways, I do like the show. It's not perfect, and some characters can weigh it down. I actually didn't even mind Kate. I thought she was kind of fun. Some of the Hawkeye stuff was cool, like when he put on the Ronin suit. And also, the music for the show I quite liked. Well, in closing, let me know your thoughts. Like if you enjoyed what you saw. But till next time, Merry Christmas.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Merry Christmas.
Just do it! Make your dreams